The names behind the Duluoz Legend series. When you pick up and read one of Jack Kerouac's novels, you feel like you're reading someone's personal diary, full of their deepest, darkest secrets, musings, and scribblings. With each book, you gain deeper understanding into a life and time long gone. There exist the same characters that reappear in his works, but their names tend to change for no apparent reason. That's because Kerouac's early publishers forced him to change names against his will. However, it wasn't just the names of Kerouac's characters that would change per novel, but the characters themselves would adapt and grow over time. That's because most of Kerouac's characters were based on real people in his life, and together, each character or person makes up the great mosaic that is the Duluoz legend. Also, please stick around afterwards and we'll talk about where we're going with our channel, literary works we want to cover next, and how you can help steer this channel in the future. Now, let's explore the Duluoz legend. To understand the Duluoz legend is to first understand its author, Jack Kerouac. Jack Kerouac is a name etched into the walls of American literary greats. He's most known for his not-so-fictional novel, On the Road, considered by some as the great American novel, which catapulted him into stardom where he was dubbed King of the Beats, a label he quickly grew to hate. His book spawned a movement that ignited the Beats, which turned to the hippies, and well, you see where I'm going here. You see, Jack considered himself the real deal, and the Beats and hippies who followed he just considered posers. Aside from Kerouac's heavy drinking lifestyle, he's known for his other memorable works, The Dharma Bums, Desolation Angels, The Subterraneans, and Big Sur. Many of Kerouac's novels follow his personal experiences as he wandered aimlessly across the United States and Mexico. His novels harbor on existentialism, capturing a clashing of old and new American cultures during a post-World War II era, while he accompanies, or frequently makes reference to, high-profile artist friends and iconoclasts like William Burroughs, Allen Ginsberg, and the now American folk hero Neal Cassady. He wrote his novels as remembrances much in the same way as Marcel Proust, and he even makes reference to this in his novel Big Sur. But where Proust was bedridden and immobile, Kerouac was actively adrift, so sorry Marcel, your day will come. Now, we can spend a whole video in itself on Jack Kerouac, and we might just do that in the future, but for now we're going to steer back towards the many characters Kerouac immortalized. From the numerous characters Kerouac has made reference to in his novels, we are just going to stick with his main characters that have appeared regularly in his novels and have made significant contributions to his legend. Okay, let's begin with Jack Kerouac himself. In Visions of Gerard, Kerouac meditates on his older brother, who tragically died at just the age of 9 due to rheumatic fever. His brother's death would follow him for the rest of his life and has haunted many of his works. Kerouac goes by Ty Jean Duluoz, taking on and affirming the Duluoz name that would become synonymous with his own. In fact, everyone in his family shares this surname. In Dr. Sachs, he would reuse the thin veil of Jack Duluoz. Also in works during this time, the character Zack was also inspired by Kerouac himself, which he also used in other works detailing his early life. He would also go by Jack Duluoz in Desolation Angels, Visions of Cody, and Big Sur. In The Town and the City, his first novel, he would go by Peter Martin. In his most notable work, On the Road, he is known as the rambling Sal Paradise, then Ray Smith in The Dharma Bums, and Leo Persepied in The Subterraneans. Next is the iconic Neal Cassady. Not only did he appear in Kerouac's novels, but he also makes an appearance in Tom Wolfe's Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. In literary history, Cassady is the smooth Adonis who will share his girl with you, then drive you around town talking your ear off about it. He was the inspiration for many of Kerouac's works. Dean Moriarty in On the Road, Cody Pomeroy in The Dharma Bums, Desolation Angels, Visions of Cody, and Big Sur, Leroy in The Subterraneans. Carolyn Cassidy was Neal Cassady's wife, and it's mentioned there existed a love triangle between Carolyn, Kerouac, and Cassidy. Although she settled for Neal, she and Jack still have much love for one another that can be felt in the pages of Big Sur. Camille in On the Road, Evelyn in The Dharma Bums, Desolation Angels, Visions of Cody, and Big Sur. Allen Ginsberg is not only one of the great American poets and forefathers of the beat and counterculture movements that followed, but he was also a friend of Kerouac's who has inspired many of his characters. Leon Levinsky in The Town and the City, Karl Marx in On the Road, Alva Goldbrook in The Dharma Bums, Adam Morad in The Subterraneans, Irwin Garden in Desolation Angels, Visions of Cody, and Big Sur, Irwin coming from Ginsberg's birth name. Peter Orlovsky, longtime partner of Allen Ginsberg, has also made many appearances in Kerouac's novels. George in The Dharma Bums, Simon Darlovsky in Desolation Angels. Lou Ann Henderson proved the inspiration for another love triangle between Kerouac and Cassidy, while also venturing with them in the cross-country epic On the Road. Mary Lou in On the Road, Annie in The Subterraneans, Joanna Dawson in Visions of Cody. Michael McClure is an American poet and novelist who found fame as one of the 5 poets who read at the famous San Francisco Six Gallery reading in 1955. Ike O'Shea in The Dharma Bums, Pat McLear in Desolation Angels and Big Sur. Gary Snyder is a poet recognized with the beats in San Francisco Renaissance. Snyder is the titular character Jaffe Ryder in The Dharma Bums, and appears as Jerry Wagner in Desolation Angels and Big Sur. Gregory Corso was among the youngest of the inner circle of beat writers. He's known as Yuri Gligoric in The Subterraneans and Ralph Urso in Desolation Angels. Philip Whalen was a Zen Buddhist and key figure in the San Francisco Renaissance. He was close to the beat generation. He appears as Warren Coughlin in The Dharma Bums and Ben Fagan in Big Sur. William Burroughs was a postmodern American writer and held a primary role in the beat generation. He befriended Allen Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac in 1943 while living in New York City, and their influence became the foundation for the beat generation. He was referred to as Bull Hubbard in Dr. Sachs and later in Desolation Angels and Visions of Cody. Will Dennison in The Town and the City, Old Bull Lee in On the Road, and Frank Carmody in The Subterraneans. Alan Watts was a British-American philosopher who popularized Eastern philosophy for a Western audience. He too made his way into Kerouac's novels. His thinly veiled characters include Arthur Wayne in The Dharma Bums, Big Sur, and Alex Alms in Desolation Angels. Gabrielle Kerouac, Jack Kerouac's mother, goes by Angie Duluoz, a nod to her middle name, Ange, in Visions of Gerard and Dr. Sachs. In On the Road, Kerouac's mother is the inspiration for the aunt of Kerouac's thinly veiled Sal Paradise. Dave Moore has covered a complete list in his database, which he regularly updates. The link to his site can be found in the description below the video. We at Lit Tips hope you enjoyed our first video. In future episodes, we will cover interesting stories behind your favorite novels, novels that we believe are underappreciated, and anything else we find interesting. That said, we hope to cover what our audience also finds interesting. The best way to do so is to comment in the comment section below. Let us know what literary works you find interesting or underappreciated, and we will try to cover them in our future episodes. Please be sure to click the subscribe button for more Lit Tips. See you next time.